Hello, leadership crew. It is Tuesday, May 5th. That's exciting. Welcome back to class after a 4-day weekend. Hopefully you guys were outside. The weather was gorgeous. If you were seeing your friends, hopefully you were social distancing. Anyway, let's get started today. We do have, our reading is really going to get going this week. So that's an exciting concept. We are going to go over the introduction today that you guys read last week. I have a Michael Jackson music video for you to enjoy that is related to the reading for today. You will be reading about the personal bank account, pages 34 through 46 in the book today, and we're going to talk about a note-taking strategy called 1-2-3 note-taking. I'll describe that in a little bit. And then after you're done reading today, I do have a discussion board set up for you to dig in on some of the concepts that you read about. So first of all, let's review a bit about the introduction part that you read for the 7 Habits book. So to begin, there were 3 concepts: habit, paradigm, and principle that you read so far. Habit is something that most of us are pretty familiar with, something that we do repetitively without really having to think about it. Habits can be good for us or bad for us. They can make us or break us, as the author in the book said. And habits do take practice. As you know, the title of the book is 7 Habits for Highly Effective Teens. So the author is going to lay out for us 7 different habits that he feels are going to be beneficial to creating successful leaders and successful people as adults. Okay, then we moved into the idea of a paradigm. A paradigm is how you see the world. The author uses the example of the glasses or the lenses through which you see and interpret people or situations around you. There are 3 different kinds of paradigms: the paradigm of yourself, so how you see yourself, how you see others, and then also how you kind of interpret life in general. We do not want to center our life on 1 or 2 paradigms. For example, we don't want to be friend-centered or family-centered or school-centered, but rather we want to create a life where all of our different paradigms are centered on principles. And that brings us to the next word that we've been learning about. So principles are those things by which you live your life. So you focus your life on being honest, on being respectful, loyal, hardworking, having that balance, maybe integrity. I think of some of those things on our matrix when I think of our principles that we're looking at for leadership. Okay, so we want to focus a life that centers on principles, and then our principles help our paradigms to be healthy. Okay, principles will never ever fail you because they only make you better. If you focus on your integrity or your honesty, those types of things will only make you a better person. Okay, so that was really the introduction of the book. What we're going to look at right now is how the book is broken into 3 different sections. So the first section is a personal victory. The personal bank account, habits 1, 2, and 3 will all be about who you are as a person and who you can be as a leader. Okay, so the personal bank account you'll read today. Later on this week, you'll look at habit 1, being proactive. Then we'll move into habit 2, beginning with the end in mind, and habit 3, putting first things first. We really need to focus on who we are as people so that we can move into the second part, the public victory, feeling very confident and strong about who we are as leaders and people in this world. So the second section of the book is the public victory. We'll talk about relationship bank account. We'll look at habit 4, think win-win. Habit 5, seek first to understand, then be understood, which is all about genuine listening. And then habit 6 is all about synergize, and this is one of my favorite ones. They'll use the equation in habit 6 for synergize, that 1 + 1 = 3. So if you take what you know and you take what another person knows, not only will you combine your ideas, but you'll be able to create something even bigger than if you would have done that on your own. It's a really awesome idea, and it directly connects to the idea of leadership that we've been exploring. Finally, the last section of the book is all about renewal. Habit 7 is called Sharpen the Saw, and it talks about that balance in life. So now that you know who you should be personally, who you need to be in relationships, you also need to focus on how you can renew yourself so that you can be the best in both of those worlds. Okay, before we get started on lesson for today, I just want you to be mindful that I have updated the Schoology calendar, and so you can see all of the reading, and the different types of lessons related to each of the habits, and then also when our final project will be. So as we're getting started with this book study, I do want you to be mindful of where we're going and kind of the pace that we're going to take to get there. So check out the Schoology calendar and see what's happening. Okay, so today's reading is the personal bank account, and to kick that off, I insist that you click the link right there, and you go and watch Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror music video. The quote, or a quote from Man in the Mirror, will be referenced in this section, and I think it totally connects with the idea of taking care of one's self to make the world a better place. Make sure you turn it up. Make sure you rock out. It's okay to have a little dance party during this. I do want you to observe the images during this video. See how they change from the beginning to the end. I do want you to think about the lyrics from this video, and if it's not real clear, because sometimes Michael Jackson isn't really clear, you can Google the lyrics and have them pull up. And I want you to think about how those lyrics relate to our journey of becoming leaders. There will be a question about this video on our discussion board later today. Okay? So enjoy that one. It's one of my faves. The reading for today then is all about the personal bank account. It will be pages 31 through 46. Now, throughout this book study, we are going to use this exact same note-taking strategy for each of the habits in each of the sections. It's called the 1, 2, 3 note-taking strategy. It's where you have you break it down into 1, 2, and 3 different pieces of information. So the first one, while you're reading the personal bank account, I want you to find one piece of inspiration. This could be something the author says, it could be from one of the stories told within the section, or it could be an actual quote that's kind of set aside in a box during the reading. Okay? The second one, you're going to find 2 tips that you can apply to being a good leader from the personal bank account this time. As we go on in the future, it'll be related to whatever habit you're reading. So 2 tips that you can apply to being a good leader. The final one is 3 general takeaway ideas that you value from this section. Maybe it would be something that really hit home that's not necessarily leadership or inspirational, but it's like, gosh, yes, I connected to that. Maybe it's something you'd want to share with a friend or a parent. Maybe it's something that you'd want to discuss more in discussion board. All good things to choose for the general takeaways. So when I think about those 3 general takeaways, it's things that maybe you want to apply to life or that you think are meaningful but don't fit necessarily into those other 2 categories. Finally, at the end of each of our reading sections, there's a page or 2 related to baby steps. And these are really great things for you to read over to start thinking about how can I actually implement being a leader following these ideas. So after the personal bank account, you'll see a list of baby steps. Scan through them to see, what can I be working on to really focus on myself and putting in more deposits into myself rather than taking out. So keep that in mind after each section. Okay, finally today in Schoology there is a 15-point discussion board. You're going to reflect on that Michael Jackson video and you're going to share your 1, 2, 3 notes. Again, take a look at that Schoology calendar so you know what's coming up next and you can kind of start pacing yourself. If you want to read ahead, go right ahead. That makes no difference to me. You can take care of this week's readings today if you want. Everything is loaded for you in Schoology. They're all updated as of today. So do what you need to do. I look forward to discussing with you in Schoology on those discussion boards. Make sure that you are having quality thoughts. It's definitely not the quantity, it's definitely the quality. We want to see how you're developing as a leader through this experience. Okay, guys, we do have office hours this week, Tuesday, Thursday at 10 o'clock. If you want to drop in, ask some questions, you can do that. I would love to hear from you. I will let you know my camera isn't working in the Schoology Conferences app. And I am thinking about doing a Teams meeting for us again, but this week's just not going to work. I've got too many other meetings already scheduled. So maybe next week. That is it, I think. Email me too if you guys have any questions. Colton, hopefully you have your book by now, because otherwise you're going to get way behind. So check in with me when you guys get a chance. Take care of you. I look forward to seeing and hearing from you. Bye.